The sun bleeds across the Giza plateau, painting the pyramids in gold and shadow. But my eyes, like so many before me, are drawn to something older. The Great Sphinx. It crouches in the sand, a silent sentinel, its gaze fixed on the horizon, as if guarding a secret. Mainstream Egyptology says the Sphinx was carved for Pharaoh Khafra around 2500 BC, a monument to royal power. But what if that story is wrong? The real clues are carved into the Sphinx's weathered limestone body. For decades, a handful of researchers have argued the Sphinx is far older than the pyramids. Their ideas were dismissed as fringe, but new scientific analysis is forcing a second look. This isn't just about changing a date. It's about questioning the origins of civilization itself. If the Sphinx predates the pharaohs, who built it, and why? The evidence is etched in stone, challenging everything we thought we knew about our past. The Sphinx isn't just a riddle of myth. It's a cold case, and the evidence is finally coming to light. We're about to follow the clues into the unknown. Let's begin. Forget the hieroglyphs, look at the stone. In the 1990s, geologist Dr. Robert Schoch examined the Sphinx not as a historian, but as a scientist. He noticed something strange. The Sphinx's body and enclosure showed deep, vertical fissures, evidence of water erosion, not wind. The Sahara hasn't seen heavy rain for thousands of years, not since the end of the last ice age. Schoch concluded the Sphinx must have been carved when Egypt was wet and green, long before the pharaohs. This isn't a theory, it's a geological fact. For the Sphinx to be eroded by rain, it had to exist before the desert formed, possibly as early as 7000 BC or even earlier. That would make it twice as old as mainstream Egyptology claims. The Sphinx may have already been ancient when the first pyramid stones were laid. The water left its mark, a secret that could rewrite history. If true, the Sphinx is a relic from a lost world. The evidence is there, in the stone itself. The question is, will we listen? The implications are staggering. Let's look at the world that could have built it. Imagine Giza not as desert, but as a lush savanna. Grasses waving, wildlife roaming, rain falling. Geological data confirms over 10,000 years ago the Sahara was green, teeming with life. If the Sphinx was carved then, its builders lived in a fertile land, not a barren desert. The Nile was mightier, the ecosystem rich. This changes everything about how we see ancient Egypt. But here's the paradox. Our history books say people then were Stone Age hunter-gatherers, not monument builders. A project like the Sphinx requires architects, engineers, and a large organized workforce. The evidence in the stone points to an advanced civilization, but archaeology says otherwise. Could a sophisticated culture have existed here thousands of years before the pharaohs? Did they leave behind only this one enigmatic statue? The two stories don't line up. Our history may be missing a crucial chapter. Let's compare the timelines. Here's the controversy. Mainstream history says the Sphinx was built around 2500 BC for Khafra, case closed. But the geological evidence points to a much older date, 7000 to 10,000 BC, or even earlier. That would make the Sphinx 9,000 to 12,000 years old, predating the pharaohs by millennia. Maybe Khafra didn't build it, but found it, restored it, and claimed it as his own. This isn't just about dates, it's about rewriting the story of civilization. An older Sphinx suggests a lost, advanced culture deep in prehistory. The academic resistance is fierce. Accepting this would mean rewriting textbooks and rethinking everything. But science follows evidence, not tradition. The Sphinx's rain-scarred stone keeps pointing to a forgotten past. Are we ready to face it? The debate is far from over, but the evidence is mounting. So we end where we began, staring at the Sphinx as darkness falls. The evidence for an older Sphinx is compelling, but it leaves us with the biggest question. If not the Egyptians, then who? Could a lost civilization have built it, only to vanish as the Sahara dried up? The Sphinx remains silent, its purpose and origin a mystery. Maybe it's not conspiracy, just academic inertia. Old stories are hard to change. To accept a 12,000-year-old Sphinx is to admit we know far less about our origins than we thought. The riddle challenges us to question, to explore, and to look at the evidence ourselves. The answers won't come from textbooks, but from those willing to ask tough questions. What do you think? Is the Sphinx a monument to a pharaoh or a message from a lost world? The expedition continues.